Welcome to the Cincy PostCast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery. And why would I want to do that? Well, because they are the best daggone brewery you're going to find in Cincinnati, or anywhere else for that matter, all right? I'll fight you on it. They are doing some amazing stuff over on the east side of Cincinnati, Columbia-Tusculum neighborhood. You gotta check them out. I'm telling you, delicious beers, great food, friendly staff. It's a lovely environment. They have a gorgeous patio. They've got a nice, cool indoor space. They have just an awesome setup. I absolutely love it. And I love that they are doing events all the time. In fact, they have music this weekend. You got Ryan Arnold playing from 3 to 6 p.m. on Saturday and Gary Birch from 3 to 6 on Sunday. I'm telling you, these guys are always doing some cool events, some cool stuff. There's live music happening. Go check them out if you haven't already. They are also an FC Cincinnati pub partner. So if you're looking for a spot to watch the Miami match at weirdly 7:15 p.m. on Saturday, well, then you can check it out there. They are good people. They got good stuff for you. So go check out our friends at Streetside. And a huge thank you again to Streetside for sponsoring this episode. And on today's episode, okay, so the title is not a lie. We got to sit down with Pavel Bucha. What did we ask him about? Everything, every question. You're thinking in your head, did they really ask him about that? We asked him about that, okay? We get all of your questions answered. Before we talk to Pavel, which, by the way, there's a special guest also that shows up in that interview. You're going to be floored. But before that, in the first part, we are talking FC Cincinnati news. There is some interesting information and storylines floating out there involving former FC Cincinnati players that we touch on. And in part 3, we look ahead to the we play them once again match against Inter Miami and who or who may not be in that match. You put it all together. I'm so excited that you get to listen and I get to listen. I'm going to go and listen to this one myself right now, to this episode of the PostCast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by two gentlemen who, given the weird order that we record these things, is so hyped for part 2. I'm joined by the Chief and I am joined by Grayson. I want to start off by saying, Chief, thank you for taking on editing duties last week. I appreciated that. I enjoyed having what I'll call the night off, a night that I eventually went to bed at 1 a.m. anyway.
Yeah, the whole sitting on the airplane because the tower had been evacuated at CVG, it did offer quite a bit of additional time to get the recording done.
Yes.
Or to get the editing done. Just some issues finding a quiet moment to record the intro
yes.
on an airplane that didn't quite come off the way I thought it would.
So that was awesome. Thank you. And to you, Grayson, for truly getting us the get in part 2. And I do not mean Bucha.
So yeah, stay tuned.
Yes,
that was maybe the toughest guest we've ever had.
The negotiations, I'm sure, were intense.
The negotiations were, I think it's a situation where you just have to understand that when like two sides have very, very different interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can bargain hard on behalf of your interest.
Yes.
Without losing the fact that, ultimately, like, you're both just professionals trying to act rationally, and, after it's done, just be happy you reached the deal and put all that behind you.
Yeah, I like
This is
to
incredible.
think
This is incredible relationship advice, right here. Just make it transactional. Everything will be okay.
Yeah, I like to think that it ended up win-win. So hopefully it was received that way as well with within the Grayson household. So
we're one step closer to just taking a week off and forcing all of our wives to show up on the Zoom and make an hour worth of content.
I still think that would be very funny.
None of you know one another. Just have at it and see what happens.
Look, I mean, that is stereotypically like how a lot of guy friends, male friends find each other later in life, is that they are just sort of plopped down in a living room together while all the wives and girlfriends and coworkers sort of mingle in a kitchen somewhere, usually with clinking wine glasses, and then a couple of dudes sitting around going like,
so you
seen
like
seen the Reds?
Right, yeah. You like the Bengals, man?
Yeah, that's the John Mulaney joke.
Oh,
your dad doesn't have friends. Your mom has friends, and they have husbands.
Yes.
Your wife doesn't have friends. Or their husbands have friends, and they're podcasters.
What a nightmare that would be. So this guy's coming over. He has a podcast. And you're like, oh shit.
And there's this other guy coming over. He also has a podcast.
Oh,
it's like,
no.
I suddenly remember I have to be literally any place else right now.
Oh yeah, we're actually hosting a podcast, and it's going to be a D&D game.
You're gonna love it.
Grayson's wife all of a sudden doesn't speak English any longer. It's like I don't understand how this relationship works.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, I think there's a long history of not to go too, trad, I guess, but I think there is a long history of successful relationships with the spouses speak different languages.
I think there's one in the Oval Office right now.
It's like a hallmark of the royal marriage back in the old country,
or maybe even don't speak any common language, right?
Or live with each other, just sort of marriage on paper. But you just go rule Spain. I'll be here in France. It'll be fine.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's with kingly duties. And
I took a castle tour in Europe one time, and they the guide made the point to remark about this one local lord or whatever that had lived in this castle, and to say that like he actually really loved his wife, and and they didn't have any reported affairs, and he even taught her how to read.
Wow.
Now, I have so many other questions that are suggested by this as well. Did he? Because it's one thing if it's like he taught her to read. If it's another thing where he taught her shapes and her colors, and
that's a great point.
Right. I was actually going to say that.
Oh no.
To learn more about this famous leader in history, search the Epstein list on X, the Everything app. It's all happening on X.
Which turns up no results.
It turns out
it doesn't exist.
404.
Because Jeffrey Epstein did not exist.
Yes.
Can't kill yourself if you don't exist, though. Stay woke.
But I was thinking that, if you're going to, is that is like he really, at that point, needed to stay with her the rest of his life, right? Because if you're going to teach a woman how to read, imagine then like breaking up with her and now there's like a literate woman out there who's like somebody else's problem.
It's a good point. It's a true menace to society that he is unleashed.
You signed your own Middle Ages death warrant by marrying someone and teaching them to write the tell-all book.
Right. Or it's a self-correcting issue. Obviously, she's a witch, so this solves itself.
Right? She can read the spells now.
Right. The spell book makes so much more sense. This actually does remind me of the death of Socrates. If anybody has studied the history and the philosophy.
Socrates, the Brazilian footballer.
Not quite, although as philosophical, I will say. when Socrates was drinking the hemlock, he was visited by all of his friends in prison, and multiple times they like tried to bring his like wife and children in, and he
Drank
sends them
faster.
away twice. He just wants to bro out in his last few hours of his life.
that kind of tracks with my understanding of Socrates' preferences generally, right?
Yeah. Say, this is-
yeah.
In terms of, ancient Greek culture, they're certainly not beating the allegations on.
Again, it's just like why it's important to emphasize that this ancient male important person might have actually liked his wife.
You know it is.
Oh God. Well, what an interlude to this
Right,
podcast.
yeah. If you tuned in for the Pavel Bucha interview, welcome to the PostCast.
There is some FC Cincinnati news to touch
we got a
on.
lot of FC Cincinnati news to touch on.
Well, okay, fair enough. I guess we can quickly hit on. We have good sourcing, unnamed and anonymous sources to protect the sensitivity of their information gathering activities here. But Ender Echenique is on his way to Cincinnati. Visas appear to be approved, or we're really good at smuggling people in. Very excited about him being here. I would say, a couple of days before the window actually opens. So,
Actually, the day of the window opening
the day
tomorrow.
of the window
oh,
opening.
perfect.
Yeah.
Good. So here's the question. Does he make the bench on Saturday? I don't expect to see him, but do they put him on the bench?
No, they'll put him up in a
no chance.
They'll put him in the luxury box.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's a road game. He won't even travel.
Road game.
Yeah, he won't travel. He won't travel on for the next match. I would bet that we see him in Leagues Cup will be when we see Ender play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think he'll train this week. Like they'll give him some medicals and kind of orient him. But
yeah, as you'll hear in segment 2, relocating to the United States, not as easy as we make it out to be sometimes for a lot of these players. So, like we talked about before, probably a little bit of grace with this signing.
Yeah.
If Ender adds anything this year, great. If he doesn't, we'll be excited to see how he looks next year when he's had a chance to fully acclimate and train and get minutes training with the first team. But I don't expect. I'm with Grayson. I don't expect to see. I expect he will train out there at least on probably. Well, I guess tomorrow's Thursday and it'll be the last training day, and then Friday they're traveling. So yeah, I take that back. He won't train this week. As I talk myself through this, all of a sudden, the schedule makes absolutely no sense for what would happen. So yeah, they'll get back from Miami. He'll get into training, and I project that we'll see him probably make a few cameo appearances in those first Leagues Cup matches.
That actually makes sense. It's really nice though that he's coming into this team. One, it's top of the table. That's always nice. But two, where he's not desperately needed. Like FC Cincinnati is operating at a place of strength here. As we've sort of talked about a little bit before, there are certainly some personnel decisions to be made for next year. He will be very well positioned to hit the ground running next year. So that is good. Similarly, not really FC Cincinnati news, although I definitely think it's worth bringing up here. Chidozie Awuzie, friend of the podcast, by the way, had him on last year, leaving Colorado, going back to France. The stated reason being his family was never able to join him in the United States. It's also worth pointing out, he signed up to play with Obi and Cincinnati. I didn't necessarily sign up for, and I don't think had much of a say in moving out to Commerce City, Colorado. So he is gone. That does leave FC Cincinnati's former player, Ian Murphy, I believe, as their number 1 on their center back depth chart there. But just interesting to see sort of how that sort of whole transaction has panned out so far.
Did you see any transfer fee number on that?
I did not.
I believe it was on a mutual release.
Oh, you think it was a mutual term?
I believe it was a mutual term with the idea that he was not happy and was homesick for his family, and they were just sort of doing right by the player in this matter.
Transfer Market says it was it says it was an $850,000 fee, but I actually don't think that's right.
Yeah. Whatever it was, I know that there was something, if it was a fee, it was a greatly reduced fee just to get him back to the continent.
The only reason I ask is we had a sell on.
That's right.
We had a sell on that I think applied to both transfers out and also like a future GAM type trade or sale within the league. But I mean, if it was a free transfer or a really, really low dollar amount, then I don't expect we got anything from that, which is fine. We got the GAM from it. Like, this was not a guy that was brought in with the idea that you're going to
make a bunch of money,
move him on for a big fee. He was brought in to, try to find a replacement for Matt Miazga.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, came kind of late in the season because of when MLS's transfer window falls, and the team had other problems last year, and it didn't really work out. But I think I'm still happy. The transfer. I'm still happy they brought him in. I mean, it was a statement of intent by FC Cincinnati last year. And he's probably pretty. I think he's played at Nance before.
Yes.
He's probably very comfortable there. I'm happy. I assume that this is a good outcome for him.
Yeah, my only concern in this matter is and remains just, I don't know. Like, until I hear something, it's one of those things where don't get pre-mad about things that aren't the case. I do wonder a little bit what this does for FC Cincinnati going shopping internationally, because you don't see a lot of these trades within MLS. And it's a weird feature of this league, one that I don't expect to last much longer, where you can trade players against their will once they sign their contract with the league overall. It obviously doesn't seem like it's hurt the team shopping in this past window. It does strike me as something where if you do it often enough, eventually your team might get tagged with a reputation that you can't trust that you're signing a contract with FC Cincinnati, that you won't end up someplace you don't want to be in, a situation you don't want to go to.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. I wondered about it when they made the trade of Awazium. But I'll say this for Cheeto. He made like a video immediately, for the Colorado fans, saying all the right things, and at least outwardly, had a good kept up good appearances, which like we've seen players in the past, actually go to social media and complain about being traded. I mean, Julian Gressel did it a couple times on his podcast, because he has to be like one of the most traded players in the last 5 years, last decade maybe. But
a Mendoza line player is Julian Gressel.
I mean, we don't know how involved or not Cheeto was in picking his destination or being consulted on the trade.
That is true.
But also, if this is the only example, and then he ends up back at the club where he used to play, that's probably a much more comfortable destination for him than even the club we got him from, which was Boa Vista, where he had non-payment disputes with that team.
That was part of the reason why we were able to get him, right?
I assume.
Or he was at least interested in leaving. I
think he was on an expiring deal, so we got him like pretty cheap. But yeah, if you like, he's got a couple of like FIFA dispute resolution chamber cases with Boa Vista for non-payment, and I would like to think, at least maybe optimistically, that this is an outcome that he'd be happy with. Of how it all went.
I agree with that. I agree it's an all's well that ends well situation. It's just I'm putting a pin in that a little bit just to watch out for it. I don't think it happening once really has any real bearing, and I don't foresee that this team is going to make any trades in league. I guess you never know, but that was one that struck me as a little odd with the timing of signed up to play here. Talk specifically about how he was recruited here by players, and then you're in Colorado all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, it definitely felt that way.
Yeah.
It might not be an issue very longer because we'll be talking about it, I think, on the World's Game tonight. But it sounds like they're about ready to start the new CBA process for MLS and the MLSPA ahead of what I think we all assume is going to be a switch to the winter calendar. And this strikes me as the type of thing that will go away in some CBA negotiation at some point.
Yeah. Hey, Grayson, I assume there isn't something like this, but on the cash for player trade,
it's a
cash,
trade.
Yes, the cash transfer. So the player still has no say in.
Correct.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same kind of rules that govern MLS trades. Okay. So the way, for people who may not be aware, generally, FIFA regulations require a player to consent to a transfer. So the way transfers are typically done all over the world is the teams agree on a transfer fee or the terms of the transfer, and then the player is consulted, and the player usually also gets a new contract. They have to agree to personal terms with the new team. And in American sports, that's not the case. Typically, and I'm talking outside soccer right now, typically in American sports, a player is traded, their contract goes with them. And those are permitted under, the baseball collective bargaining agreement, whatever. In Major League Soccer, they have to deal with the fact that FIFA has a worldwide regulation that would generally prohibit that kind of thing. And how MLS gets around it is players sign their contracts with the league, and the league is considered the quote unquote club.
Yeah.
And so it's not, and the players actually in their standard player agreements expressly waive the FIFA regulations that would at least arguably prevent them from being moved from one MLS team to another without their agreement. And so in MLS, under the FIFA rules, this is a big loophole for sure. It's not deemed to be moving to another club because MLS holds the contract and assigns it to a, let's say, franchise.
Yeah.
And then MLS can assign the contract to another franchise without the player's consent. And so with this new cash for player rule, it's not really an internal transfer market in all senses, because while it mirrors a transfer market in a lot of ways, the player doesn't get the right to block it unless they have a no trade clause, which are, as I understand it, pretty rare in MLS. So Lucho went to Dallas on an internal cash transfer. He went on the same contract. We gave Evander a new contract, I think probably to, kind of make him happy, right?
Yeah. He left,
and we locked him down for a
gruntled.
longer term than Portland had him under. I mean, there's reasons why you may, as a team, want to give the player a new contract.
Yeah.
But Dallas did not give Lucho a new contract. He's on the same deal he was at FC Cincinnati, and that operated just like a regular MLS trade, except for the fact that we got cash instead of GAM.
Yeah. Crazy. So there you go. That's why they won't call it a transfer either. I'm sure for legal reasons, it's a cash for player trade. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, we hinted at it, I think last time, or no, in the last episode, Lucho being out. There's a really good podcast that Grayson has linked to that sort of detailed some of it. it does appear to be classic mopey Lucho. Just a quick roundup of the alumni.
You'll be shocked to learn that the chatter in Dallas is that he is breaking team rules. He went out past curfew with another teammate and was basically dismissed from the team by the manager and told, come back when your head is right. He was stripped of his captaincy.
Yeah. So the sequence was he was dropped from the 11 and stripped of the captaincy. Subbed in a game, got a yellow card right away. That became a yellow card suspension. His second yellow card suspension of the season, by the way.
Oof. Though I think the second suspension comes a little faster, right?
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
It's 3. And so he missed a game, stayed out past curfew, and then was dropped completely from the 18 or the 20 the following game. And that was the game where they put out, for personal reasons, he's not traveling with the team. And so the Dallas podcast, talked about, stuff that the kinds of things that we had seen when things aren't going well for him.
Mm-hmm.
But Dallas hasn't really had the benefit yet of seeing the fully locked in Lucho.
Right.
And may never, honestly.
And may never, yeah.
Because the team around him is not great down there. It's just an okay Dallas team.
But they seem better without him.
They have been better without him.
Yeah.
The other thing about it is I immediately thought of, so I was glad that the Dallas podcast brought it up, was at the press conference, the Dallas GM was asked, what do you think about the fact that he's, tried to hit these force his way out of a couple of teams and, whatever. And the Dallas GM was very flippant.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I'm Brazilian. This is no problem.
Sure, if you got a whole team of Luchos and at any one time you can get 11 of them to play cohesive soccer,
right.
By all means.
What if you built the entire plane out of Lucho? Well, then it would just crash itself into the ground inevitably.
But you got to think at least a couple of them are happy and focused and playing at the same time.
Your Argentinian transfer window is either open or about to open.
Yeah.
Watch this space. It would be hard to imagine Dallas taking a sale on a loss this quickly, but I don't know.
If somebody was offering $2 million, $3 million, they might do it to dump the salary. That's a huge savings.
The transfer window in Argentina, according to Transfer Market, is open from July 7th to August 30th, 2025.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got some time. Yeah. Maybe that Florence Foster Jenkins or whatever that guy's name was.
Foster Gillette.
Foster Gillette.
Our bug-eyed buddy, Foster.
Maybe he's got some checks that can clear this time.
Thomas Muller, nothing, no news to report. Apparently he's close to signing with it's the classic. There are 2 MLS clubs interested, which means there's one MLS club interested and another one has the discovery rights.
Right.
So.
What is interesting though is Paul Tenorio tonight posting and
is
reporting.
this from Song?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the
Celine
LAFC
Song
is closing in on Tottenham Hotspur star player son. And what's interesting about that is I would think that would fill the Muller spot unless he is going to take a non-DP deal in LA, which I'm not ruling out. But
doesn't LAFC have 2 open already?
They have, it's Buanga, and don't they have who's the
Giroux's gone.
Right, Giroux's gone, but they were under the 3 DP model as recently as the start of the year, I think. Was it a paper DP? I probably should know this.
And the other thing is that, and I know Tom Bogert said that there's no formal. Yeah, so this one guy Under was on loan till the summer.
Ah.
So on the roster profile, they have LAFC's designated players as Denis Bouanga, Olivier Giroud, and Cengiz Under.
And so he's gone now.
I think Cengiz Under's loan has expired and was not re-upped.
Well, never mind.
And Olivier Giroud is gone. And then if you also want to talk about that Bouanga has been linked to a move move out, although Tom Bogert said there haven't been any formal discussions or whatever to that. But I would say watch the space on Bouanga. We may have a fully new look LAFC by the end of the summer window.
The point being, though, that that will just watch that space specifically because there will be likely some compensation coming FC Cincinnati's way for holding his discovery rights. I would not get your hopes up for a haul, especially if we were offering Muller a TAM deal and LAFC was offering him a designated player deal. That usually in those situations, you get a nominal amount for the discovery rights, but you don't get the kind of haul that, who was it? Charlotte got like 400,000 in GAM.
Charlotte was like the opposite situation.
Yeah.
Where Charlotte was offering Marco Reus a genuine designated player contract. And he chose instead to go to LA Galaxy on a TAM deal. And in that circumstance, Charlotte was sitting in a pretty strong position to demand, real money.
Yeah. I think like the team that offered a larger contract for a player to sign for less money elsewhere should be entitled to like the difference for the length of the contract. Like, I don't know. There's got to be a better way to protect these small market teams getting done dirty this way, where a guy will sign for less money somewhere else.
We have an Evander free kick situation in the MLS All-Star game right now.
Oh, please.
Ooh, nice with it right there.
You are a little ahead of me.
Okay.
Well, that was nice. That was a good event. His other free kick was pretty good too. It hit he found his guy. The guy just didn't get the header there. But
so is that the good transition point to Evander at the MLS All-Star game, I guess?
Wait, real quick. The only other thing I would say is, according to FOTMob, if I look at who is a center.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Evander made a real nice half volley that
just barely
almost scored.
Woo! Dude, my man is balling out in these 15 minutes right here.
Man, he's going to end this game of Benfica player.
Right. Benfica, fuck Chelsea's going to be calling for this ass.
I only mentioned this. LAFC has, according to FOTMob, if I count left midfielder, right midfielder, and central midfielder, 13 midfielders on their roster. Just, if maybe they wanted to give us a gently used Marky Delgado or Timothy Tillman in exchange for the rights to Thomas Muller, I think we would be fine with that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Yaboa.
Why not?
Why not? We're at international spots anyway.
Obviously, the best answer is Frankie Amaya, but he is on loan. So there you go. So then, Chief, that does take us to the All-Star game, where Evander is the captain of the MLS All-Star team, and Miles Robinson is also there with cornrows.
As is tradition, Miles Robinson also participating.
Miles Robinson is also there, not with FC Cincinnati, but also not starting.
Right.
He'll be back though. So this is not the usual Miles Robinson trip right here.
So yeah, good for him. Evander set the points record for the MLS All-Star Shooting Challenge Skills Competition. That was exciting and very fun to watch. He could have done so much better too. Like, he was inches wide on a handful of those targets. So I was very impressed with that. It seemed the rest of the team was as well. He also seemed to vibe really well with Clint Dempsey, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and they
So
what was that, the passing challenge?
Yeah, he won the passing challenge pretty quickly.
Yeah. He made a mockery of that particular event, playing the game on rookie mode right there.
Also, just incredibly nonchalant in both in both challenges, right?
In everything.
Not
in
like
this
he
man's
was
life.
he wasn't like rushing in it by any means. He was
Right.
just like kickball.
Yeah, I'm good.
Kickball.
Having fun. So I have had two thoughts so far with Evander at the All-Star game.
It's two more than usual.
I know, right?
Hey.
Some heavy thinking here. There's steam coming out of my ears right now. You're right. Like thinking about an All-Star game is profoundly stupid.
I'll just wait till we record the World's Cam.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I'm really starting to get worried that Evander's not going to be on this team next year. Like, it has been a lurking worry for the last couple of weeks, but the amount of hype and attention the league is giving him in this event, combined with how incredible his play style has been in the actual matches. I know he's a little bit older than the traditional profile of someone that gets bought for a big fee out of MLS. He's, what is it, like 27, 28, I think?
Evander is 24 years old.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I think he's 26.
He's a baby.
He is 27 years old.
Boom.
He's
Hell yeah.
a child.
Chief knows ball. Hell yeah.
A literal child.
CKB. So he is a little bit older than the profile of a player that usually commands a big fee, but at some point, he's making this look real easy.
I agree with you. However, I have always felt this way about essentially league MVPs, that like Hani Mukhtar, Carlos Heel, Denny Bawanga, like all of these guys, I think could have waltzed right into any number of really good European teams, and they never do. And I don't know why. I don't want them to be clear, but I don't know why.
I think part of it is that they're going to make more money on this hemisphere than in Europe because here they're like a top player and they're getting a premium for coming over. But you look at like a player like Bawanga, he would not be on, PSG,
right,
or Lille, right? He'd be on a smaller team in a good league, and he's not making $4 million for that team. He would make big money in Liga MX, which is probably why he's linked to a transfer there. I think Hani Mukhtar like the same, like a bottom of the table or even like mid-table Bundesliga team is not going to necessarily match his MLS DP salary. He'd make fine money, but it's, you kind of price yourself out of a job at a certain, like a lot of careers, right? You kind of price yourself out of certain opportunities.
Is the internship at the big firm still worth it when you're 30 years old and have a wife and kids?
Right. But the other thing about Evander is in other leagues, they don't really use 10s the same way that MLS does.
Yeah.
And so he would have to go to like the best team in like Portugal, right? A team that's going to have a lot of the ball rather than a team that's going to be necessarily maybe doing a lot of pressing.
Yeah.
Or wanting Evander to do a lot of defending. Yeah. Like he's not going to, unless he really changes how he plays, like he's not going to be able to play in those teams.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because I think Portugal, the Netherlands, Belgium, Brazil, Denmark, where he came from, those all make sense. Potentially Brazil. But the European ones are the ones that are like, he is too old. They want a 20-year-old. They want a 22-year-old because they're going to make next year's budget by selling that kid to a mid-table German team or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was somebody just bought a player out of Brazil who was like 27, 28 for like $22 million.
Norwich, Wolves, someone
might have been Wolves. And that was an interesting deal to me, and I couldn't help but think it was linked specifically to the performance of Brazilian teams in Club World Cup.
Yeah.
It finally got people to pay attention outside of the Eurozone.
Right. Because he was like a career South American player.
Yeah.
Like he'd only ever played in South America. And usually at that age, like a Premier League team is not spending that kind of money for you. So maybe they're, I don't know, maybe it's changing a little bit. But.
Or especially the English values have become so skewed that like that's a small amount of money. So they might have won a bidding war against another Brazilian team or something, or one of the big Argentinian clubs. But yeah, they don't care because whatever, they've got billions of dollars.
My second thought with Evander is this should be the face of MLS. Like this guy specifically should be the face of MLS. There's another face of MLS we're going to talk about in segment 2 and a lot on the world's game who isn't at this event right now, who's not playing in this event, who is completely healthy and choosing not to be there right now. Evander showed up last night. He competed in all the dog and pony show games with I Show Speed and all that nonsense. He gave an effort to it and won it. He's showing up tonight, taking the captain's armband. And for a league where so often the best players, and I know I got a little bit of heat, and I understand where where the heat's coming from on this, believe me. And I know it's gross to talk about like English language and English proficiency and that speak English, that, but he's able on the field to do an English language interview without the need for an interpreter with the MLS sideline reporter who was trying to bait him into talking about his own MVP candidacy. And he dodged around the questions and promoted the event. And for a league that is so starved for, mainstream public attention outside of the bubble that the fandom exists in, here you have a fairly young, but not like a kid. This is like an actual age-appropriate type of player that most people associate with. This is a player that's in his prime right now in terms of what the American sports athlete looks like. 27 years old, incredible to watch on the field, incredible highlight reel performances that you can put up and play, and who speaks fluent English, and by all accounts is a humble, good ambassador for the club, for the league, and for the sport. And the contrast has just been so stark between that and, old, buddy Leo down in Florida, who won't do any of those things. And Fabian Rankel brought this up a little bit today, where it was like Zlatan was better for the league in terms of being an ambassador. And with somebody like Evander, you can send Evander out to Good Morning America to promote the All-Star game. You can send him out to Jimmy Fallon to promote the All-Star game. And you can have a cool highlight package that accompanies him where he's doing things that a regular crowd of people that would never dream of buying League Pass would watch and think, oh, that's way more impressive than I thought the soccer they were playing in MLS was. This feels, and this entire thing has felt like a coming out party for Evander at a national level. And if he is going to stay in this league, you can do a lot worse than Evander in terms of hitching your wagon to someone to promote this game to American fans.
I think two things can be true. And I think people's hearts are in the right place, and they're generally correct with some of the heat you got, that players shouldn't be pressured, in my view, to give interviews in English. If they should be allowed to give interviews and encouraged to give interviews in whatever language they are comfortable with. But it's also easier to promote a star player if they're giving interviews in English. Because you can just throw them on like CBS Golazo, right? You can throw them on all these things that Chief was talking about. It just is easier to promote a player to an American audience if they can give interviews in English. Especially a player in a sport like MLS that isn't, at the top of the sports market currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's an interesting topic, too, considering what segment 2 is right here, where we had a player who was very generous with his time, but, English is his second language. And I respect the hell out of that. I speak one language badly.
I can't give an interview and
I can barely give an interview in English. Let's be real.
Right.
But I do think that, like, when it comes to promoting this league, and I'm thinking bigger picture here, I was watching that last night and I was just struck by the fact that, that was something Brenner couldn't do when he was here. Aaron Bupenza, rest in peace. He was okay with English, but he wasn't comfortable just talking to a reporter on the fly on the field like that. It's a compliment for Evander more than anything else. That just what an impressive guy that he's able to do that. And I think the league should be taking advantage of it. And I think I think there's some eyes being opened to Evander right now.
Yeah. I think too that
we had to get him out of the backwater of Portland and into like a big market,
right
to get the spotlight on him.
Proper
football
fans.
city in it.
Yeah. It is, though, at a minimum. It's just a reminder of like what we are missing with the promise that was Messi. Is like, if we're all gonna have to chip in for this guy's salary, I'd like to be able to convince myself that like he's benefiting my team. And outside of Michelob Ultra ads, I don't see that. So
really what I'm looking for is, I think it would be badass if there were some media or some commercials where it was Evander and Joe Burrow on TV at the exact same time. I think the aura that would generate would, heat homes in the winter.
That would be amazing. Also, this is just a tiny little funny thing that I got a kick out of. And of course he would do this, and this is who would reach out to it. But, it's just funny to think about it. Messi signed up. Is prominently featured in 3 companies' marketing and advertising. Michelob Ultra, which is a league sponsor. I should say 4. Lay's, which he does this ridiculous commercial. The other one, Lowe's, which is funny because they are a direct competitor to Home Depot, who is absolutely a league sponsor and one of the owners of Atlanta United. And the other one is his hydration drink. Chief, I wasn't sure if you were speaking into the microphone or looking.
No,
at
I was
your
looking.
screen.
I was looking to see if that was Evander making a run right there. MLS just scored.
Hey. But the other one is he launched like a hydration Gatorade type thing right as the league signed a new sponsorship deal with Body Armor. So very funny. Just half of his endorsement deals are just running counter to the league anyway.
I just got a jump scare when it zoomed in on Chucky Lozano. Yeah. I was like, I forgot he's in the league. For a second.
And not only in the league, started this game. So
right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, that does take us to part 2, which, I mean, Grayson, do you want to intro part 2? I feel like you'd be better suited for this.
I don't know if I can, but we had the pleasure of speaking with my wife.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But and also present for the interview was FC Cincinnati midfield stalwart,
MVP,
yes.
And the engine of the team. Many people are saying Pavel Bucha.
He happened to be there. Okay. So that was fun. Nice little coincidence that happened there. So I think you will enjoy this conversation. I think you will enjoy the interview. I know we did. So therefore, I assume everybody is exactly like me and will also enjoy it. Afterwards, after the interview, we'll come back and we will look ahead to Miami this weekend. All right, joining us here on the PostCast, I cannot believe I get to say these words out loud. We are joined by an incredibly special guest. We are joined by a player that I'm fairly certain earlier this week, Chris Albright said was the most valuable player on the team. The one and only Pavel Bucha. Bucha, man, how are you doing tonight?
Hey guys, Yeah, what a introduction. I didn't expect that. Yeah, I'm a little bit shy now when I heard you saying that. Yeah, I'm glad to be here with you guys, talking for a bit, and yeah, thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. No, I got to tell you, when the club finally started, we got on friendly terms with FC Cincinnati. They start signing permission slips to let players come talk on our podcast, and you were, I think, number one on our list of players that we wanted to talk to. You have, I don't know if you know this, you have very quickly become a fan favorite around Cincinnati, and I would be remiss if I did not ask the most pressing, most pertinent question that I know every fan has on the top of their mind. How is Molly the dog?
Yeah, thanks for asking. She's right next to me.
Oh, good.
Next to my chair, so she has to be always close to me, right? The best company. And yeah, she's maybe hoping right now that I'm gonna quit this podcast and take her out for a while. But yeah, she has been there already today. We were on our garden few like half an hour, so I think she has to be satisfied with that. And yeah, she's doing fine. Just to that question, she's doing fine. Just this hot weather is not really something for her, or maybe for dogs in general. So she's after a while, when I'm throwing her ball, she's already struggling and breathing so hard.
So I guess that answers the question I was going to have, and that's that if it came down to who can run further and run for longer, you or Molly, who's going to win that race?
We have already tried it, because I was like curious too, and she's for sure faster than me, but I would say that I would run farther than her. On a long distance. I think I would beat her.
This is how I imagine it is with like the strikers on the team, like a Kevin Denke, maybe a faster sprinter, but I think give it 7-8 miles, you'll leave them in the dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in classic Cincinnati fashion, before we even started recording, we were lucky enough and are lucky enough to be joined by Mrs. Grayson, which is how I'm going to refer to Mrs. Grayson, who speaks the same language. I believe is also from, this is where I'm going to get myself in trouble, Czech Republic. I want to make sure I've got that correct. No, I have that wrong. My goodness. However, spoke the language, and it turns out there was already a mutual friend that coached you back in Czechia. So let me ask you this first, Pavel. I like to think of myself as somebody who has read a book before. What do I call your country? Because for most of my life, it was the Czech Republic. And now every time I look on a map, I see Czechia. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. How do you refer to your own country?
So for me, the only one correct name is Czech Republic.
Okay.
But I hear many times, I've heard many times that people say like Czechia. I think that's also correct. So, but Czech Republic is the most common one, I would say.
Okay, good. I want to make sure, I'm not messing this up. I am notorious for mispronouncing names and getting things wrong here. So I want to at least try to get the country name correct.
We do strive to be factual as much as possible on here, and getting something like "where are you from" correct. That's something we always want to make sure we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good to know.
So Pavel, you've been with FC Cincinnati now for a little bit. What was the biggest change in terms of relocating over from Europe, relocating from your home country and coming to America? What's the biggest change and difference that you've experienced since making that transition?
I don't know. It's hard to say now because I got used to many things so far. So as you said, it's been 1.5 years since I came here, so it's quite a long time now, and it's hard to say now. But the most challenging thing for me, it's been and still is that separation from my close friends and family. That's the biggest challenge we have to face every day with my wife, and sometimes you feel lonely, and so that can also affect my performance or moods and whatever, but so that's the biggest difference, because there we were in the small country, everywhere is so close in comparison to US. There you can take a car and drive like 2-3 hours, and you are on the other side of the country, and so everywhere was too close for us, and now there is a 6 hours time difference. So sometimes it's quite challenging to find the right time for a call with family or with our friends, and also just to I think this is the hardest part, to try to stay active with those important relationship, or you know what I mean, not to I don't want to any of my important relationship be death because of I had to move here because of my job. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm working on it as hard as I can. And I don't know, in terms of football, I would say also with that how big US is. So every away game we have to fly, so that's something I wasn't used to. And
we were at that Salt Lake City game and watched you guys play last weekend, all three of us, and that flight's not fun.
No, that wasn't, because as you know for sure that we played on Wednesday against Inter Miami. Then normally you don't have that quality sleep after the match. Then you have one day to recover or whatever, and then second day you travel. And this flight was one of the longest I've experienced here, to Salt Lake, 3.5 hours. So that wasn't good for our to help us with our recovery. and then you play there in Salt Lake with that high altitude, and also it can causes you some problems, and after the game you feel like you're gonna die.
Heck of an advantage they have there in Salt Lake City. The homesickness is something that I think goes underrated with casual viewers of the league and of the team. Have you found anywhere around Cincinnati that has reminded you of home? Had a similar dish to something that you've had, or anything like that?
No, just I think what I've already mentioned to you guys before we started recording about that Czech community, which we have here in Cincy. So that's one thing that sometimes remind us our home, or we have, because with these people they can understand us better, our struggles and our they can more feel into us, and many times it helped us a lot to be around them. And about food, that's very difficult in this area. We haven't found some place yet where they cook something similar to Czech food. So the only solution is that my wife has to cook for us at home to bring those memories back, because we miss Czech food a lot here. So
well, Mrs. Grayson here, I don't know if you have any recommendations off the top of the head.
I would say the closest would be the German restaurants, so you can get like a schnitzel. I don't know if you're allowed to eat schnitzel. You already have like a diet. Schnitzel and beer is like the closest, but you can't get like a knedled trozello anywhere. It's
I would love to. This food, especially, this is one of my favorite, and I would love to eat it again. And that's right. We saw or we know about some like German restaurants, or we already tried a Hungarian restaurant called Laszlo or something like that.
Yeah.
So you know that, guys?
Yeah, Laszlo's. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So we tried that place, and so some of those food that they prepare there is a little bit similar to what we are used to in Czech Republic. So,
so
for me,
moving
the best is when my mom visits. Mom makes the best.
So moving into the team, we did get I guess a friend of the podcast submitted a question for you. So who's your best friend in the team, and why is it Evan?
I have to say that Evan just we talked together this morning in the canteen in training facility, and he mentioned that he knew that I'm gonna be here with you guys tonight.
Oh no!
And he just told me what you wanted to know, I like Evan. He was always friendly to me from first moment when I arrived to on that training camp in Florida. So he brought me with other guys, with a small group of guys. We went on a dinner there in Tampa City, and so he's good guy, always in a good mood.
So going back to your decision to come to FC Cincinnati, what was it that made you decide that this was a good opportunity for your career?
That was just because it was so scary to me to just even imagine that I would be on the other half of the world. And also, like, on one hand it's scary, but on the other it's so exciting, and that's just one at the time for that. I at the time I was in my previous club in Victoria Pilsen. I was there for, I would say, 4 years, and I felt like maybe I need some change, some new environment, new opportunities, whatever, new like dressing room to get to know new guys. And I have to say that when I first heard about this opportunity, I was like, where is even Cincinnati? And after time, I realized and I found many information about city, about the club, about MLS, and also I have to say that I had like maybe three meetings with the guys from the club. I had also call through Zoom with Pat and Chris, and they just made me believe that this is the right step, right choice to do.
And when they had those Zoom meetings with you, did they tell you that you were going to be playing this much? That you would be playing 90 minutes every single game?
Actually, they said something like this, that they said that they wanted me to be like a starter. They wanted me to be the main guy in the midfield, playing a lot of minutes, and like be the guy that will play a lot of minutes. And,
so they warned you, at least. That's good.
It was. I was, after those calls with them, I felt even more sure about this, that I have to do it, and I have to come here.
So how did you play a similar role in the Czech Republic that you play on FC Cincinnati now?
Not really. I play last season, maybe 2 seasons there in Victoria Pilsen. I played a little more advanced position in midfield, like a number 8, almost 10. So I had more like offensive tasks in that our style of playing. And so when I came here, my tasks a little bit changed, and we play like 2 holding midfielders, like a 6 next to each other, and you have coaches have different demands on us than what coaches had on me there in Pilsen. So,
Yeah.
Do you like the new role that you're playing here at FC Cincinnati, or do you think it fits your skill set better, or what's your...
Yeah, I like it. I like my position because I have that's a little bit like difference between being here and being in Czech, because you have even though you have some tasks as a specific, you have like your specific role on the team on in that style of play, what you have to do, even though you still have like free role, and you can express more yourself, like your ability, like your strengths, and so I like it. I think I like to be in the like building up stage in our game, try to get on the ball more down in the field, and try to find my teammates in more advanced positions. And then I have that free role, free space to like running there in the attack, and try to find some spaces there, maybe surprise our opponents with some of my runs behind the defense or whatever. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, your late arriving runs into the box are like, get me hyped. All right, if I'm not already standing, I am then standing. You've been incredibly generous with your time, and I just have a couple more questions for you. But I've got to know, you bring up the number 10 position, the build up to the attack. You've been lucky enough to play with two of the most creative, dynamic players that this league has seen, maybe ever. How has your role changed, or how have you seen sort of what you do change on the field with Evander out there now, rather than Lucho?
To be honest, not much. Like I think my role is still same, and I would say even although like Evander and Lucho are like different players, but I think they have really similar role on our team. So that was more like when Evander was coming to our team, I felt like that he was already prepared to take that role, to that specific role, number 10, creative player. So I with Evander here and Lucho at the time, my role didn't change.
I gotta know, when you're down on the field with Evander and he's about to take a free kick from, miles away, kilometers away, do you ever look at that and think, there's no way he's going to make this?
Yeah, I was like that many times this year. Sometimes I was like, when they made a foul and we had that free kick, and Evander was standing there and he was prepared to take it, and I was thinking for myself, is he really gonna shoot? And then I'm just standing there on that 16 box and watching that beauty, how he scored. Yeah, so he surprised me. I would say 2-3 times this season, and now I'm used to it, and I'm just when he now I'm ready for it that he can score from this distance, because he's got superpower in with this.
So we've seen Evander take those long shots. We've seen Lucha take those long shots. Are you going to try a half field shot at some point this year?
No, there is no space for me. at this point, like when guys score already from this position, you don't have a chance to take it. That has to be only at the time, maybe when these guys wouldn't be on the page. Maybe then someone else can take it, but right now I don't think.
Yeah, I'd like to think that if they implemented, a 3-point line like in basketball, FC Cincinnati would be undefeated at all times. Like, this is a very long-range shooting team.
Yeah, that's right. We like to shoot from distance. With also with Lucha, how last season he scored those goals. That was incredible. So yeah, we like to try this kind of things.
Yeah. Another thing that has come up amongst the fan base is, I don't know if you know this, so I want to make sure you know this. Yeah. Do you know you are the strongest player on the team?
What does it mean, strongest?
This is what the fan base is saying. FC Cincinnati fans know you to be the strongest player on the team. I'll let you define that however you want, but that is what the people are saying.
All right. What can I say? I take it.
Perfect. He accepts the title, and that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how they literally mean that. So yeah. But okay.
Perfect.
It's the right reaction to that, by the way.
Yes. The other question that the fan base was clamoring for was, we've heard this from other players, but we have to know it from you. Do you have a to-go or go-to, I should say, Chipotle order? An order at Chipotle that, like, you walk in there, you know what you're getting?
Yeah, I've been to Chipotle many times so far, and I think I'm just a simple guy in this, and I always choose the burrito option with and I just take that massive burrito, and with all that stuff they affording, like with steak, with cheese, with salad, with guacamole, with tomatoes, with black beans, with white rice. So yeah.
Is there anything you don't get on the burrito then, or are you taking all of it?
I take all of it.
Nice.
Because we had Yuya Kubo on the podcast last year, and after we got his Chipotle order, I went to Chipotle the next day and got his order. So I'm going tomorrow and I'm getting your order. Just give me everything in the burrito with steak.
Yeah. All right.
Chief, it would probably help if you also ran whatever it was, 20 miles a week.
We don't need to talk about that. Okay. We don't need to talk about how much more Pavel runs than I do.
Oh my God. Well, I got to say, man, this has been a blast. I've had a lovely time talking to you. I've learned things about you and Mrs. Grayson that I had misconceptions of, so this is great. I don't know if anybody else has any other questions here.
I think we should give Miss Grayson the last opportunity to ask a question, maybe in Pavel's native tongue, so that the viewers can be, or the listeners can be, confused and wonder what exactly they were talking about.
Byl jsi na tenisovém turnaji, co je vstupný Cincinnati Open?
Should I?
You can answer in English. Tell people.
Yeah, so asking me about the Cincinnati Open, if I've ever been to yet, and last year we were there, and I think it's huge event, and I think this year I'm gonna go there again for sure, and I have to say that tennis is maybe my most favorite sport after soccer, maybe with basketball. So yeah, I enjoyed watching all these high quality athletes, tennis players compete there, and yeah, it was great.
So I guess we'll ask the final question then, since you said you're a tennis fan. Who's the GOAT, Joker or Roger?
Roger, for me, Roger.
Not Ivan Lendl.
I don't know about him. I think he played at the time I was not even.
I think only Chief might have been alive when he was playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure about. Yeah, I'm not sure about him. I didn't see him play, so it's hard to say. But yeah, for me, Roger is the best ever, and yeah, he's so elegant with how he hit that tennis ball, and it's fun to watch him play.
Well, there you go. The debate is over. You've given us the definitive answer here, Pavel. Thank you so much, man. This was a blast. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here, and maybe in the future we can do it again. It was so nice to speak to you guys.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we are back, and once again, a huge thank you to Mrs. Grayson for being able to join us. Also, whoever that FC Cincinnati, Pavel Bucha, huge thank you for coming on. I got to learn about the Czech Republic. I was reminded where Grayson's wife was from. I cannot believe I made that mistake as we were going through that. And I thought it was a really fun, good conversation. So I'm really glad that was able to happen. So thank you.
I'm glad we don't do video. I'll put it that way. I'm not gonna say I wish we did video, but it was kind of cool to see Pavel's face light up a little bit when he realized the home tongue was being spoken.
Yes.
That was kind of cool.
It was. Yeah, I think, I'm glad that we were able to do that. After we were done, I met my wife for dinner, and she said, what a nice young man.
Aww. What a great review.
What did she think of Pavel?
Hey. What listeners will have not heard is a good 10-minute long conversation with Pavel before we hit record, mainly between Pavel and Mrs. Grayson, and a lot of that was in Czech, so that was really great to.
I think it was basically entirely in Czech.
Yeah, so it was fun to listen in. I think I had picked up the words Grayson and podcast out of the entire conversation, so that was good. I got the
tenor of the conversation. It was mostly these three people are morons. The one down at the bottom is my husband. Do not take anything they're saying seriously at all.
Yeah, I think that was definitely part of it.
That was awesome, though. That was really fun. I hope the listeners enjoyed that as much of a treat as it was for the three of us, I think.
Chief, I, like you, was also planning on getting whatever his Chipotle order was, and now I'm a little nervous. So that's a lot of food he orders.
It's gonna be a hefty lunch tomorrow, fellas.
The return of the original Chipotle burrito. Maybe it's just because I've gotten older and wider in my later years, but back in my day, finishing a Chipotle burrito was like an accomplishment.
Oh,
I don't think
know.
I can right now, to be honest.
I mean, that order might be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm confident I can do that and chips and salsa tomorrow. I'm very excited about this.
Man.
But it's good because I'm going to have to walk a couple blocks to go get it.
Nice.
And that'll burn
There you
off
go.
that'll burn off most of the calories, I think.
It's basically calorie neutral at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly right. Clean living.
Speaking of clean living, Inter Miami on Saturday. It doesn't make sense. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
FC Cincinnati goes on the road against the vaunted and hated. Is vaunted a word? Did I make that up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
why not?
Sure. And yeah, they play Miami. Chief, will Lionel Messi and or Jordi Alba play in this game?
Boy, that's fun. So I guess to back up for a second,
Yes.
Jordi Alba and Lionel Messi were both voted into the MLS All-Star game. You may remember from a very similar controversy last year that when a player is selected to the MLS All-Star game, the MLS rules provide that if the player does not attend and perform in the All-Star game, that said player must serve a 1-game suspension. And this was allegedly modified last year in order to allow that suspension to be served during a Leagues Cup match, which is why Messi served his 1-game suspension during the Leagues Cup that he wasn't going to play in anyway, and was available for when the season resumed with the MLS schedule when our first game back after Leagues Cup was against Inter Miami. What's interesting about this is it certainly seems like there was some sort of a memo that went out about this rule or something that alerted a lot of the media about this rule, because I don't remember this rule being as prominently discussed last year as it was this year.
The
And
only
it felt
person
like
who was on it last year was in the media was Twellman.
This year, very different. This year, a lot of chatter about this particular rule. Last year, it definitely felt like it was just Twellman and the FC Cincinnati online mafia that was pointing this rule out. And there has been direct reference to the rule by Don Garber this evening at his State of the League press conference. So if you go by the rules as written, then yes, Jordi Alba and Lionel Messi will have to be serving a suspension for this game. However, this is a Fox Sports 1 game, like we were discussing before we started recording. It's an FS1 game. Do I have confidence the league is going to deny its over-the-air or its cable broadcast partner a Lionel Messi game this Saturday? I do not. So what I am guessing will end up happening is either the rule will be interpreted such that they must serve a suspension and they will give them a choice of when the suspension can be served, or there will be some sort of an appeal that just happens to take this past the nationally televised Fox Sports 1 game on Saturday.
It just is so insane that, Suarez was allowed to openly avoid this last year. And previous to that, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was suspended for missing the All-Star game. So they have been willing to suspend huge names, face of the league type players in the past. And there have been other players as well for a long time. And this rule was implemented for exactly this reason, which is outside of MLS Cup final, this historically, when it was on traditional broadcast channels, was the number 2 most viewed MLS event of the year. It was their way to get as many eyeballs as possible on it. And having guys blow this off was a huge detriment to the league. I think that still sort of applies here. I also think, based on what Garber said, he said something along the lines of, and I don't have the quote in front of me, said something along the lines of like, we should have known it earlier about him missing the All-Star. We should have addressed it earlier. No doubt about that. Glad I was able to pull that up. It sounds like maybe they were blindsided by this or maybe negotiating with Messi to try to get him to show up or something. A very weird situation here. So Boy.
So
Yeah.
if I had to be if I was a betting man, I'm betting he finds a way to play, or they find a way to get him on the field against us.
Yeah.
Which is,
Seems
again,
likely.
profoundly annoying considering Evander is there and actually appears to be giving actual effort.
Yeah.
And taking time that otherwise would be used for training and recovery ahead of a road game in Miami. Stupid.
To the detriment of FC Cincinnati. Like, it's good generally for FC Cincinnati that he's there. Don't get me wrong. Amazing that we went from back-to-back all-star captains to the next all-star captain. Like, Albright might have just earned himself a lifetime contract for this little move right here. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like all of this is happening because he's trying to do right and live up to his obligations and does seem to actually enjoy playing the sport. I don't know if that's even true for Messi at this point in his career. So yeah, I don't know. Very, very odd. So
Grayson, does he play?
Oh yeah. Prediction.
Yeah, he plays. So does Jordi Alba.
I was going to ask that. Do they suspend Alba? Is he like the sacrificial lamb?
That'd be really funny. As he serves Jordi Alba serves 2 games worth of suspensions.
I also think there's a non-zero chance that they do get suspended if the game's against like Montreal this weekend.
Ooh, or like not on Fox Sports 1.
Right.
If this game wasn't on Fox Sports 1, I think they're getting suspended because it's at home, which means that you're not robbing some team of a home gate where they sold a lot of tickets to people at a really high price to watch Lionel Messi play.
Or
which I think
the
would
stadium.
Yeah, like, they sell out Cleveland Browns Stadium or whatever the hell they're calling it before they demolish it. And all of a sudden the league is suspending Messi. You're going to have an owner that's pissed off about that. As a home game, if it wasn't on national TV, I'd feel a lot more confident about them actually enforcing the rule here.
Man. Just so funny that like the commissioner goes on the record with all the various media and says like, yeah, we don't know if we're going to enforce the rule. Oh, okay, cool. Well,
right,
we're
man.
not gonna show up, and we would just like 3 points. If we're just not playing by rules, how about we just also make up our own rules? We don't play this game. You give us 3 points. We call it fair and square. Ugh. This game is not on Friday, unlike what the fake news media may have told you. It is on Saturday, but it is at 7:15 p.m. Now, this is what I'm reading on the internet. Chief, I don't know if that actually means 7:45. I don't know if that means 7:20.
What it means is that at some point between 7:15 and 8 o'clock, a soccer game between FC Cincinnati and Miami will kick off. When that actually happens, only Rupert Murdoch knows.
Yeah, I would guess closer to 7:30, but
the real question that the real ones are asking is, since it's on FS1, is there a Pac-10 basketball game on later that they will have to cut to if this game for some reason gets delayed by weather?
Actually, the truck series is gonna force it into FS2 for the first 20 minutes.
As is tradition.
Professional pickleball has got him bumped. How do we feel going into this one? This is a big matchup. I mean, we talked about it before. It could very well be a defining or the defining match of the Shield race. It could make or break either one of these teams' Shield races. You scoreboard watch a little bit, and Columbus plays Orlando as well, and San Diego hosts Nashville. There's a lot of Shield implications on the line around the league, but none more than this one. I don't know, Grayson. The confidence meter. Where are we right now?
I actually feel pretty good going into this game. They, a lot of the starters got a bit of a rest on Saturday. I know Evander is out there kind of jogging around, but I think that everybody should be fresh going into this game on Saturday, and Miami might tweak their tactics a bit, but like we play them tough more often than not.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
There
fair.
was some information midweek that Engel was out of training for one day. He was back in training today.
Oh,
I believe. I think that the only players that are out right now are Yakubo remains out, Obi remains out, and who's the third one I'm missing of the frequently injured?
Kevin Denke.
Kevin Denke, yeah. So the usual suspects, but it sounds like they're going to have most of the first team available for selection, as it were. Yeah, I'm with Grayson. I feel confident, and this is a big match. If for no other reason than you play Inter Miami on Saturday, and then it's immediately into Leagues Cup, and you're not playing another MLS match for I think about 14 days, for about 2 weeks until you have Charlotte on August 10th. So this is not one that you want to lose and leave yourself a bad taste in your mouth with going into Leagues Cup. And it starts a pretty big run of games right here for FC Cincinnati. You got Inter Miami, then Charlotte at home. You're on the road to Portland, at home for New York City. That comes after this is a 3-game stretch of games. They need all 3 of these games because the harder games come afterwards. Knocking Miami off right here would on the road, or at least getting points on the road in Miami, would be really big.
If we win this game, I'll take us seriously as Shield contenders.
Ooh.
I think that we have a tough schedule the rest of the way, and the overperformance of the underlying numbers still concerns me, but not to the degree of the overperformance. Like I expect them to overperform because of how they play and who's on the team. But it's it's pretty stark at the moment. I think they're like 17 points above their expected points under the like XG and XG against. So I'm still a little, this is so weird to say about the top of the table. I just think it's too tight, and I don't really see us as taking the Shield, but I think if we come away with all 3 in Miami, then I'll eat those words.
The XG table is so funny. We are 18 points ahead of our expected points total there. That is good for 21st in the league. The 2 teams ahead of us would be FC Dallas and Atlanta United. The 2 teams behind us, CF Montreal, St. Louis City, who are just ahead of LA Galaxy. So if you're looking at like the teams who we're in the neighborhood of when it comes to expected goals for and against, not great. And then you switch to the actual table. And to be clear, the only one that really truly matters.
Yep.
Top of the table. It is funny though that it's like us and Columbus Crew have 7 and 8 8-point goal differential, +8 for FC Cincinnati, +7 for Columbus Crew. Everybody else is like +13 to +17 in the top 10.
And I think for me, like a big difference between us and like last year's Miami, who also like way overperformed and then lost in the first round, is I still don't think we've seen the best this team can do.
Correct.
And they can put it together at any time.
I agree with that.
And I think we saw the best Miami could do last year.
Yeah, multiple times. They were stomping teams. FC Cincinnati hasn't truly stomped a lot of teams, any teams, depending on who you ask. It's it is a team too that you can imagine. They don't need a lot of tweaking, they don't need a lot of changes, but an Ender Echenique on the bench and maybe an MLS journeyman in the midfield, and like this team can add that without issue and be totally fine cruising into the playoffs. So there you go. Miami, for their sake, I forget the stat on this, and I feel like people argued about this in the Discord, so I apologize if I have this wrong. Messi has never scored against us, and no, the penalty kick to decide who advances in the Open Cup doesn't count. But I don't know if that's like of teams that he has played multiple times.
There's a couple of other teams that he hasn't scored against that he's played.
Okay.
And I think at least a couple of the teams he's played multiple times. However, he's played us a lot.
Yes.
At this point and hasn't scored. Which
and
is
that
great.
is notable. I think somebody said we're the only team he hasn't scored against that he's played 3 times.
Yeah, I'm not going to dig into that.
Yeah. But we do seem to have his number. We do appear to be perfectly designed to exploit a lot of their problems, not unlike how Columbus does seem to be perfectly designed to exploit a lot of our problems. So I think this will be a good one. I think it'll be a fun one. Even pre-Messi, pre-Albright and Noonan, these games were pretty good between Miami and Cincinnati. I think they're fun ones. And yeah, I don't know. Are we ready to predict this? Is there anything else about this game we should touch on before?
No, we just played this team.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Let's just pick it. 3-1 to the FC. Messi gets his goal.
But not a brace.
Not a brace.
2-2 FC. Miami split the points. Miami gets the brace.
Or Messi gets the brace.
Messi gets brace. Yeah,
Bastard.
sorry.
I will say 2-1 Miami, but Messi doesn't score. Yeah, that's good. That's not good. I worry about the shenanigans around this game.
One other thing that we haven't touched on, but I think we should acknowledge is if they were going to put Obi on the season-ending injury list,
they have to do it now.
They have to do it basically now. So we should know maybe by the time this podcast comes out, maybe within 24 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
If they've put him on the season-ending injury list.
That is a good call, and yeah, definitely something we should have mentioned before. So there you go. All right. Well, I think that does it for the postcast. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you, Mrs. Grayson. Thank you, listeners.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I'm thinking.
That's all we're thanking. You know who we never thank on this show?
Oh, who's that?
That would be the city of Columbus. Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. I think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors, a even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon, but maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.